Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and this is Top 5s, the only top 5 show in snowboarding that you come to see where you should begin your snowboard journey. On today's Top 5, I will talk about the top 5 best boards for beginners of the 25-26 season. If you're interested in picking up any of these boards that I mention in this video, make sure you're going down in that description and clicking those affiliate links. Number 5 is the Jones Rallycat. This board is great for beginners. I mean, it does have that full camber to it, so don't let that scare you off. There is quite a bit of core milling in between the feet there, so it is still going to be nice and maneuverable. So even if you're not the most confident rider out there, you can still be able to twist this thing and maneuver it so you don't really just get stuck in a rut or anything like that. Now, since it is full camber, once you start linking those turns together, this board is going to be great for you. It's going to help you engage that turn, lock in, hold it without getting too much of that skipping motion that you'll get from softer boards or just pretty much lesser boards, but this one will hold nice for you. And it's going to really help when you're trying to learn those ollies and those side hits where you can just pop it and just trust that it's going to be nice and smooth. It's not going to pop you anything crazy to the moon, but it's just going to give you that perfect feeling that you're looking for to really help you progress in snowboarding. Number 4 is the Rome Mechanic. This board is great for beginners because it is so soft in between the feet and it has a little bit more rigidity on the outsides towards the nose and the tail. So what that's going to do for you, especially being a beginner, is it's going to make it nice and easy to really torsionally flex this thing and really maneuver it. It's also going to help when you're trying to get into the park where you can still press on it really easy because it is so soft in between the feet, but then you do have a little bit more rigidity towards that tail and nose, so that's actually going to help you get a little bit more pop out of your ollies, but it's also going to help you load those things up nice and easy. If you're one of those guys or girls that's looking to get just a beginner park board, this is a great way to go. Now you can take this board all mountain and have zero issues with it, especially at those slower speeds, but as you progress a little bit further in your snowboarding career, it's probably going to pretty much just get maxed out there. So once you do progress past that point, you can totally get another board and just have this one just for beating it up and that sort of thing in the park. Number 3 is the new Nidecker cheat code. This board was totally awesome for me, where I think they pretty much just took the score and just pretty much made it a true twin and kind of a little bit more approachable for that true beginner where they don't know which way they're going to ride, so they can just mount it up straight up in the center and be able to take it either way. This board does carve really well even when you are progressing, so as you get a little bit further, you can definitely keep riding this board and having a great time on it. This board does have a pretty decent pop to it, and it is a nice mixture of damp and lively, so you're not getting anything that's just strictly one or the other, where it's a nice mixture of both. This board is totally a game changer, especially if you're in that beginner and just kind of moving up as you go. This board will move up with you, so you don't really have to worry about, I'm more of that intermediate level, I gotta get a new board. You can keep riding this thing and having a great time on it. While I have you here, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. Number 2, the Yes Basic. This board is so much fun. I still really like riding this thing. When I rode it this year, I had an absolute blast on it. I spent most of my time riding switch because I'm not the most confident switch rider, but I believe that helped me just really decide that this thing is number 2 on the beginner list because it was super easy for me to turn. Even in uneven snow where it was pretty just wet and sloppy and just pushed around, this thing really stayed stable and I didn't have any issues with it, especially trying to keep my balance while riding switch. It has a pretty decent pop to it. It's not gonna be anything crazy like that, but it's a good pop to really feel how to actually get that ollie motion down, which is great for beginners. And I mean, even if you're a little bit higher level there, like that intermediate level, and you wanna just focus on switch riding, you can totally do that on this board where It's nice and easy. It doesn't take a lot of effort to turn or anything like that, but the main focus on this board is that it is camber dominant. So as you progress in your snowboarding, you can definitely go to more boards having a camber dominant option that you started off with. Another great thing about this board is it does have edge tech to it. So when you're on the East Coast or in the Midwest, just riding less than ideal snow where it's pretty much just ice out there, you're still going to be able to hold an edge with it, which is absolutely amazing because when you're beginning, it just is going to make it easier. Instead of sliding down the mountain on your heel or your toe side edge, you're actually going to be able to carve down it, making your life a lot easier and saving that ass from just falling all over that hard ice. Honorable mentions. Remember, these are all great options. They just weren't able to crack our top 5 this year. The first honorable mention is the K2 Gateway. This board is going to have a flat profile with rocker on the nose and tail, so it's going to be extremely approachable. Where you get into a little bit of that fresh powder, it's going to float really well for you, but when you're on those firmer groomers and that sort of thing, you can still be able to turn it and not just keep swiveling around or anything like that, because the board wants to keep in contact with the snow the whole time, or I should say the edge does. The second honorable mention is going to be the Capita Pathfinder camber, where this board is very approachable. Even though it does have camber in it, it has about 4 centimeters of pretty much flat section right at that contact point, so it's going to be nice and forgiving. It's not going to have the most pop out of anything here, but it still can hold its own pretty well there, where it does have a nice little snap to it. And the final honorable mention is the Arbor Formula Decon. This board is pretty much just like the Arbor Formula, except it's got all of the basic tech in it. So it's going to be a little bit softer, it's going to have a little less snap to it, but it's still going to have a really good edge hold. So you don't have to worry about that, especially because when you're learning, you don't need a super stiff board. If you need to pretty much just fall out of your turn or anything like that, you can still do that with this board without just getting stuck in your turn and just being there. Remember, these are all great options. They just weren't able to crack our top 5. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the Angry Snowboarder community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you might ask? Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. And the #1 beginner board for the 25-26 season is the Ride Agenda. This board was so much fun when I got on it. I knew it was a beginner board when I was on it, but you can still ride it like it is that more advanced board. It has great edge hold to it, but the main thing about this board that I loved was how damp it was. Even when I was going over chunky spots on the mountain or just those uneven terrain areas, this thing held up really well. I wasn't feeling all those nasty vibrations through my feet, especially when I was getting it up to speed, which is actually awesome in my opinion, because it's kind of like riding a bike. The faster you go, the easier it is to keep on your board. And that is the case with this one, where I could really just like kind of press into it, really drive some power out of it, and still trust that it'll hold me. Now this might scare you a little bit being a beginner, but just trust me when I say this board is super easy to turn. It really makes your life a lot easier. It made my life super easy when I didn't really even have to think about what I was doing with this thing, but it is still approachable and you can still keep riding it as you get better. You can still rip this thing around, take it to the park, really take it anywhere you want and not have to worry about it. And because it does have an extruded base on it, you don't have to wax it that much. That is what I think is great about this board, is pretty much if you wax it, you don't really have to wax it again after that for pretty much the whole season, because extruded bases, they're not going to absorb the wax quite like centered ones, but then they're also going to be a little bit more durable when you don't have the wax in there. So just keep that in mind. This board, super fun, holds an edge well, does have a pretty decent pop, and is nice and damp. As always, guys, I've been your host TC, and this has been the top 5 beginner boards for the 25-26 season. If you don't agree with this list, or you feel like we've left something off this list, leave a comment down below, and that way we might add it next year, but you know, probably not, because our opinions matter more. So that's just how that goes.